Good morning, dear students. In the last class, we completed a motional EMF as well as the rail problems also we completed. But there are few more topics related to motional EMF. Those we are going to discuss. After discussed some problems related to motional EMF. What are the problems? We'll see here. Example problem. In this problem, they given you an infinite long current carrying conductor carrying the current I. Nearer to that, a rod of length L was placed here and it's moving with velocity v bar. Then, if you mark the ends of the rod as A and or P and Q, the question is find potential difference between P and Q, that is induced EMF we want to get here. You want to get a induced EMF across the rod. How can we get it? Very simple. Actually, the rod distance, if you let it as R here, due to infinite current carrying conductor, what is the B direction and magnitude? The direction of B is inward, according to thumb rule. B inward. What about the magnitude of that? Mu naught I by 2 pi R. So, solution for this is first B equal to mu naught I by 2 pi R, that is inward. What is the B direction here? Inward. So whenever B is acting inward here, what about the induced EMF direction here according to palm rule? If you put your palm fingers in the direction of B and velocity put in the direction of thumb, white palm denoting high potential end. So by that T is at high potential, Q is at a low potential. By that here Vp greater than Vq. Then Vp minus Vq equal to what here? BLV. Because BLV all are mutually perpendicular. BLV are mutually perpendicular. By that I wrote that BLV. Actually sin theta is it? Sin theta means component of velocity perpendicular to V sin theta means V mean here velocity perpendicular to length. Okay. So by that whenever three are mutually perpendicular, then immediately you can use the formula BLV. Already I told you in the last hour. What is the B value obtained in the above? mu naught I by 2 pi R into L into. So this is the induced EMF formula. This problem over. Next example. There is a infinite current carrying conductor carrying the current I. That is a infinite current carrying conductor, that is a long current carrying conductor. Beside that, we have placed a rod of length L at a distance of A. The first end of the rod is at a distance of A. Okay. And it's moving with velocity V in this direction. What is the potential difference between the points P and Q? So, question is find potential difference between P and Q. Find the potential difference between P and Q. Okay. One thing you tell me, as like in earlier problem, B direction and magnitude. What here? B direction inward. Magnitude what? Mu naught I by 2 pi R we can't write here because it is a rod whichever the different points of the rod are at different distances from this. By that here b value variable, b value not constant. By that we need to proceed by calculus method, that is integration method. For that we need to take small element here of length dx at a distance of x. At a distance of x, I have chosen small rod, small elemental portion of the rod. First of all, we need to find potential difference across that elements, and afterwards we are going to integrate it. Okay, so let's see that. First, b magnitude what here? Mu naught I by 2 pi x inward. Then what about the potential difference across the element? That is d. The total potential difference is induced EMF totally. But here it is a small potential difference across the small elements. By that I denoted that with d. What is induced EMF formula? BLV, because B inward, L horizontal, velocity upward. So by that all are perpendicular mutually. By that d value we can write it as b dx v. What is the b value obtained in the above? Mu naught I by 2 pi x into dx into v. After obtaining that, we need to integrate it with the limits of, what are the limits here? X value varying from a to a plus l. So a to a plus l. Here d and e integral cancel, so equal to mu naught iv by 2 pi. Under integration we are having integral dx by x. What we are having? Integral dx by x. What are the limits here? A to a plus l. What we will get? Ln of a plus v by a. So the final answer is mu naught iv by 2 pi ln of a plus l by a. So this is the answer for this problem. Okay. So this is the induced EMF across this rod. But in P and Q, which is at high potential according to Palm rule, P at high potential, Q at low potential. By that it is positive, it is negative. It is nothing but Vp minus Vq. It is a Vp minus Vq. This is called induced EMF. Okay. With that, induced EMF across the rod is over. That problem completed. Next problem, see. In the next example, there is an infinite current carrying conductor. It is a long current carrying conductor carrying current I. Nearer to that, we were placed a rectangular coil of length L, breadth B. Length L, breadth B. That was placed at a distance of A. And this coil were moving in this direction with velocity V. What is the induced EMF across the coil? Okay, so find induced EMF in the coil. How to solve it? First of all, whenever you take this one and this one, the induced EMF we can write from this form. You know well, if you let this as a PQRS, it is acting as what here? A battery, because they already have seen this is positive, this is a positive and negative. So this rod is simply acting as a battery. Already you know well, motional EMF whenever induced here, then that rod acting as a battery with polarities like this. What about the induced EMF across both coils? Same. Okay, because this rod and this rod both are at same distance. So if it is having EMF E, it is also EMF E. So both are in opposite direction, such that they are cancelled each other. Why? Because positive whenever connected. For example, two cells are here. Now these two are set to be in the opposite direction. Similarly, if there is there are two cells like this. See, cathode connected to anode, but here anode connected to anode. Then these two are said to be opposite, but these are in the same direction. Then these two are cancel each other, such that these are also cancel each other. Okay, but here net EMF value, if it is E and E, net EMF equal to, that is 2E. When they are in the same direction, net EMF value becoming double. For example, if there are 3 cells, triple, okay, 4 times. If there are 5 times, like this, okay. Next, here what about this one and this one? The induced EMF across this one what? Mu naught I by, you know well, it's EMF E1, it's EMF E2. And which one at high potential here? P. So this is at high potential, this is at a low potential. Here also, whenever you apply that, this is, let's see here. What about the induced EMF across PS? PQ and SR are cancelled, that's over. Remaining two conductors are here, PS and QR. What about the induced EMF across PS? See here. PS is having the length parallel to velocity. L is parallel to velocity. Here. L is parallel to velocity. By that induced EMF what? 0. So here induced EMF 0. Here induced EMF 0. And these two are actually induced EMF are not 0. But due to same value of EMFs and in opposite direction, these two are cancelled. But these two are zeros already. So net EMF induced across the coil what here? 0 only. So final answer is 0. Why EMF 0 here? Because L is parallel to V. Okay, L is parallel to V. So due to that reason EMF 0. Okay, next problem. There is an infinite current carrying conductor here. Actually, there is a rectangular coil, same as like earlier. It was placed at a distance of A, it is B, it is L. Now it's moving in this direction velocity. Okay, it is carrying the current I. What is the induced EMF across this coil? So find induced EMF across the coil. across the coil. How can we solve it? Simply first, as I told earlier, here length mean breadth is parallel to velocity. Here B is parallel to B. Here also B parallel to B. By that, here induced EMF 0, here induced EMF 0 for these two sides. And there are two more sides, this and this. If you mark this as P, Q, R, S. In PS, which point is at high potential and which point is at low potential? That we want right now. In P and S, which one is at high potential? Actually, B direction inward here, you know. At any point this side, B direction inward. Then if you apply the Carnot rule, B is at P is at high potential, Q is at a low, S is at a low potential. By that it acts as a battery of EMF E1. Already this problem we solved it. What is the induced EMF across this wire? Before some time we discussed that problem. The induced EMF across this wire of length L when it moving velocity v is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi a 2 pi a L v. That is the induced EMF across it. And in Q and R, Q is at high potential, R is at low potential. By that again it acts as a battery. Then how can we write induced EMF across this now? E2 equal to mu naught I by 2 pi a plus b into LB. Because this wire is at what distance from here? A plus b. By that we are writing that as mu naught I by 2 pi a plus b LB. Now, what about the net EMF? Because both are in opposite direction. E1 and E2 both are in opposite direction. By that, net EMF equal to what? E1 difference E2. When both are in opposite direction, net EMF value equal to difference when they are non-equal one or unequal one. But if they are equal one, net value 0. Already I told you here. Net EMF 0 here. Because both are same. But here EMF value is not same. It is E1, it is E2, and that too both are in opposite direction. Such that net EMF value differs. What is common term in all of this? Common term is mu naught I LB by 2 pi into 1 by A minus 1 by A plus B. Okay, so that is the induced EMF across the coil. See, this is the answer for this problem. Okay, these are the problems related to motional EMF of a rod. Okay, the rod whichever in the translatory motion, that means simply that is moving with velocity in particular direction. At that moment, what is the induced EMF formula means this. And these are the problems related to that. Now we are going to discussing induced EMF across a rod rotating in the magnetic field. Okay, across a rod rotating in the magnetic field. That we are going to see here. Motional EMF in a rotating rod. That means whenever a rod is rotating in the magnetic field about one of its end, what is the motional EMF? that we want to get. See, consider a uniform magnetic field. It is a uniform magnetic field of induction D bar. In that field, I am placing a rod. It is a rod of length L, which are rotating about this axis in anti-clockwise direction with angular velocity omega. With the angular velocity omega, it's rotating in anti-clockwise direction. That's rotating about its one of the end. Okay. Now, what is induced EMF across this hinge and end? Across the hinge and end. See, how to get it mean? First of all, you take small elemental portion of this of length dx at a distance of x. At a distance of x. It is a small rod, okay, of length dx, which are moving perpendicularly with velocity of, what is the velocity of this one? Omega x. You know well, whenever this element is in circular motion, okay, the tangential velocity or linear velocity formula v equal to r omega. Accordingly, we return v equal to omega x. Then you tell me, across this element, which end is at high potential, which end is at low potential. For that, again, we need to apply palm rule. So, if you put your finger inwardly, velocity is in this way, then hinge point is at high potential, this end is at low potential. By that, it is at high potential, this is at low potential. Okay. Now, what is induced EMF across a small elemental portion? So, induced EMF across small elements is D equal to, what is the formula BLB? Right? Because B, L, B all are mutually perpendicular to each other. So BLB. B, L mean dx, V mean omega x. So BLB. Okay. So formula what here? BLB. Next. Total induced EMF across the rod is. So how can we get it? By integrating that, we are getting this as b omega x dx. And what are the limits for integration here? 0 to L. Then what we will get here? Integral d cancel here, such that E equal to b omega into what's remaining here? Integral x dx. What is integral x dx? X square by 2. And if you apply the limits here, upper limit and lower limit, the answer what we are getting is L square by 2. That is the induced EMF across this rod. Okay. So with that, EMF induced across a rotating rod completed. Now we are going to see some examples for this. Okay. In this example, a magnetic field considered here of induction D bar In that magnetic field, a rod is placed here. Its length is L, and we are rotating that about its center with angular velocity omega in anti-clockwise direction. In anti-clockwise direction. Then what is the induced EMF across this rod? That means about different points we want to write down. See, the points I am marking as this is P, it is Q, and center of the rod I am marking as O. Now let's find the potential difference across P and O, across word Q, and across P and Q. So this is our question here. We would like to get first one potential difference between P and O, comma, word Q, comma, P and Q. Across that set of points, three set of points, I want to get induced EMF now. Very simple it is. How can we solve it mean? Whenever you take this part OP, that is simply having the length of L by 2, and OQ also having length of L by 2. Then we treated that complete rod as two rods of lengths L by 2 and L by 2, which are rotating about their one of ends. Okay, like this, as in the earlier case. Here already you have seen, when a rod rotating about one of the end, what is the induced EMF formula applied here? B omega L square by 2. Same formula we can apply here for two parts of this rod, because that is a rod of two parts, that is OQ and OP, whichever having the length L by 2 and L by 2. Such that, how can we write a potential difference between word Q? In word Q, which is at high potential here, first that's the point we want to clarify here. See, whenever rod is rotating this way, each and every point on this rod moving in perpendicular direction in this way with velocity, and this side it is moving this way. Then if you apply the curl rule, palm rule, BLB, so that means induced EMF direction, B direction inward, V direction downward, then O at high potential, P is at a low potential, such that VO greater than VP. So it is at a high potential, it is at a low potential. O at a high potential, P is at a low potential. Similarly, in word Q, which is at high potential, which is at low potential, see, O at high potential, Q is at a low potential. O at a high potential, Q is at a low potential, it is minus. By that, VO greater than VQ. Then how do we write the potential difference between word P? This formula. If you apply that, VO minus VP equal to B omega L by 2 whole square by 2. That's value B omega L square by 8. Right? Similarly, what about VO minus VQ? B omega L by 2 whole square by 2. That means B omega L square by 8 again. Such that from these two, what about VP and VQ difference 0? Right? VP and VQ are at the same potentials here. So by that, VP minus VQ value 0. So the question what they asked is over here. Okay. So like that we are doing this problem. Next problem. In the next example, there is a uniform magnetic field. In this magnetic field, a wire has placed here, a closed wire has placed here, okay, and it's rotating about this axis with angular velocity omega. With angular velocity omega. Then what is the induced EMF across this? Simple one. Whenever a irregular shaped wire is rotating in that, the effective length of this one, if you take it as L, then it is a combination of two rods. This is one wire, this is another wire, which are rotating in clockwise direction. And if you treated these two as two rods of same length, effective length, then there will be induced EMF across this and across this. What is induced EMF across this one? Actually in O and P. Whichever at hypotential here, P is at hypotential because these wires are rotating this way. The velocities directions are tangentially presented and effective length L here already told you. Then P is at hypotential, O is at low potential, that is plus and minus, such that it acts as this wire. This wire acting as a battery with symbols like this. Then you have to tell me, are the two cells are they in the same direction or in opposite direction here? Opposite direction. The net effective length is same for both one. By that induced EMF value will be same. Induced EMF value will be same. By that these two are in same direction. Opposite direction. Such that both are cancelled. The net EMF value what here? 0. What is the net EMF here? 0. Okay. So like that we are doing the problem here. Next, another example. For example, same like in the above, in a magnetic field, a semi-circular wire placed here and it's rotating about this axis with angular velocity omega and its radius is r. What about the net induced EMF across the coil? Semi-circular coil it is. In that, already I told you, this effective length is what here? 2r for both one. Whenever you want to use that formula, then the net effective length we treated as what here? Distance, vector displacement from one end to another end, that is equal to 2r here. So by that induced EMF for this and for this. Actually, these two ends which are at high potential, which are at low potential here, these are rotating this way, so it's coming downward and downward, such that it is at high potential, this is at low potential. So it is plus, it is minus, such that these two are acting as batteries, plus minus, plus minus. What about the induced EMF here? Again 0. What is the EMF here across this one? B omega 2r whole square by 2. And what is the induced EMF here also? B omega 2r whole square by 2. These are the induced EMFs in opposite direction such that both are cancelled. Then net EMF is 0. What is the net EMF? 0. It is one problem related to this model. Both are of same model. Next problem. There is a uniform magnetic field. Of induction B bar. Now, a circular wire placed here. Okay. Now we would like to write down EMF induced across different points of this circular wire when it's rotating with angular velocity omega in anti-clockwise direction. When that circular wire rotating in anti-clockwise direction with angular velocity omega, what is the induced EMF across different points? The points I am marking as this is O, P, Q, R. Okay, so these are the points what I taken here. First of all, I want to find out induced EMF or potential difference between O and Q, O and P, O and R. Across them I want to find out the potential difference. How to find that? Very simple. First, if you take an OQ, that we treated as a rod of length 2r. What is the length of this? 2r. Then what is induced EMF? In one which is at high potential, this rod moving this way. So O is at high potential, Q is at a low potential. By that, how can we write a VO minus VQ here? B omega 2r whole square by 2. That is the potential difference between O and Q. What about potential difference between O and P? Effective distance between O and P is this. If it is R and R, it is root 2r. That is a root 2r. Okay. Then what about actually angular effective length of this root 2r? Then how to write potential difference between O and P? This rod is moving this way. Then O is at high potential, P is at low potential. By that, VO greater than VP. By what value? That is B omega root 2r whole square by 2. Root 2r whole square by 2. Next, what about the potential difference between O and R? O and R. Actually, effective distance again here also root 2r. Whichever at high potential, now this rod is moving this way effectively. Then O at high potential, R at low potential. By that, VO greater than VR. See, B inward velocity tangentially presented in this way. Then what about VO minus VR value? That is B omega root 2r whole square by 2. That means in the place of effective length, we are going to write these values. Okay. From that you may get potential difference between P and Q, V1 minus Vp. Between P and Q may find, or between P and R also you may find. What is the potential difference between P and R? 0, because same values here. So Vp minus Vr is 0 here. P and R and same potential. And what about the potential difference between Q and P? By taking the difference of both one, we can get that answer. Okay, it is greater, it is smaller. So by that, this minus this, if you solve it, Vp minus Vq we are getting. What we are getting? This value minus this value giving what here? Vp minus Vq. What it give you? Vp minus Vq. What is common term? B omega r square by 2. What's remained? 4 minus 2, that is 2. Okay. So finally B omega r square. That is the potential difference between P and Q. Between P and Q. Like that, always, whenever and wherever you want to write down the potential difference between different points, then first of all you write the potentials with respect to each point always. Actually, we can't get potential difference between P and Q directly. First we need to write potential difference between O and P first, because O is the hinge point here. About that point rod is rotating, Similarly, how can we find potential at Q? Simply by return the potential difference between O and Q. Similarly, if you want to find the potential difference, you need to write always potential difference with respect to hinge point first. And thereafter, from these equations, we can get potential difference between different points here. Okay, so with that problem over. With that problem over. Now next, but actually don't worry, as I am taking this magnetic field every time inward, you may take it in outward direction also, but due to regularity and comfort, I am drawing every time magnetic field inward. But no need to draw it always inward. Okay. In this field, in this one, a rod is placed here. And this rod is rotating about this central point with angular velocity omega. So length is L totally. Total length is L. Field index is B. And I am taking some points here. This is a P, this is a O, this is a Q. And I am taking one more point here, that is here PQR at a distance of L by 4, L by 2, L by 3, L by 6. Okay. At L by 6 distance from the end, I have chosen a point R. Okay. And another point I am choosing here, yes, at a distance of L by 4. Okay, it is S, it is R, it is Q. Now the question is find potential difference between O and S, S and R and Q. Okay, same order. What is the key point here? First, here is hint. What is the hint? First, calculate the potential difference with respect to hinge point for all another points. That is a hint for this problem. So with respect to that hinge point, you have to calculate the potential difference first. Okay, what is the formula we need to apply here? B omega L square by 2 only. Okay, B omega L square by 2 only we are going to apply here. And first you need to find here VO minus Vs. Okay, what is first what you are going to determine here first? VO and Vs difference. But which one is that high potential? I don't know. You have to do it as your homework. Similarly, VO and VR, VO and VQ. First you find them and write the potential difference across S and R or R and Q. Okay, do this problem as homework. Do this problem as a homework. Next topic what I am going to discuss. This is homework problem. Now, motional EMF across a rotating wheel and rotating disc. Okay, and motional EMF across rotating wheel, rotating disc. And after that, we are having induction of electric field. Induction of electric field in the varying magnetic field. The topic is there. And after that, eddy current and alternating generator, but AC generator. Actually, up to that we are having the weekend syllabus. So, do remember this weekend syllabus, motional EMF, secondly, electric field due to varying magnetic field. Thirdly, eddy current. Fourth, AC generator. AC generator. Up to that, you have the problem syllabus for this week. Okay, motional EMF, electric field due to varying magnetic field, eddy current, and alternating current generator. Alternating current generator. Okay, up to that you have the syllabus for this week. Actually, after that we are having DC circuits. But to study the DC circuits, better to have knowledge about currents and capacitors. Okay, so those we will see for actually furtherly after discussed capacitors and current electricity. Okay, capacitors and current electricity we will discuss. Tomorrow I am going to discussing motional EMF remaining part. Small topic is there. Okay, that is motional EMF across a rotating wheel and motional EMF across a rotating disc. Simple topics. within 5 to 10 minutes I can complete them. And afterwards we are going to see this electric field due to varying magnetic field and eddy current and AC generator. Okay, up to that we are having weekend syllabus. Do remember it well. Okay, so with this one, this session is over. I am going to stop the class. In the tomorrow class, we will discuss the next topics. Thank you so much.